Welcome to the extended version of the Southern Highlands Market Update, where we go a little bit more in depth compared to that 1 minute video. We dive a little bit deeper into the numbers, see what that really means for you as a homeowner or somebody that is possibly looking to buy here in Southern Highlands. So the busy season here in Las Vegas tends to be the summer months. You go May, June, July, and then things start to slow down in August, and then September, October, November, the rest of the year. But interestingly, in September was actually a busier month in real estate compared to August, which was shocking for me because I predicted or projected that we would see a little bit of a decline in September, and that was not the case. In September, we had 59 new listings hit the market here in Southern Highlands. And to put that in perspective, the month prior, we had 45, and then in July, there was 60. So it's on par with the amount of listings that you would see hitting the market midsummer. Another big stat is we saw the most amount of properties being withdrawn and taken off of the market. And that's typical for this time of year because you'll have sellers that had an unrealistic expectation of the market, maybe priced their home a little too high and it didn't end up selling. Kids are now back to school and they decided, let's take this thing off and maybe try again next year. Or we don't want to sell and end up without a home during the holidays. So seeing a lot of withdrawn listings at this time of the year is very common. 42 homes closed, and those closings likely happened because of what happened in August. So those homes went under contract in August, ended up closing in September. So that doesn't necessarily mean that those homes sold or went under contract in September. I bet you a lot of them did. 42 sales is still a very good month here in Southern Highlands. And again, to put that in perspective, that's right on par with what we had in July and the month prior with 40 sales. You would think days on market would go up as well if the market is slowing down. However, in September, we saw the days on market actually come down to 32 days, down from 34 days. So not much has changed. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to change a lot more significantly, but it's just kind of stayed the same. So what does this mean for you as a homeowner here in Southern Highlands? If you're thinking about selling or you're just curious about your home's value and what's going on in the market, the good news is properties are still selling rather quickly. 32 days on market average in a time when it's typically the slower time of year or just starting the slower time of year. Another stat that I need to bring up is the list price to sales price ratio. And this is what homes are listed at and what they end up selling for. Entering October, we're seeing a list price to sales price ratio of 98.7%, which is very similar to what we've been seeing this summer. So homes are still selling very close to their list price. So for sellers, that means that if you have a home that is for sale or that you're thinking about selling, if your property is priced right and marketed properly, there's a good chance that you're going to sell in under a month and get very close to your list price, if not more. Well-positioned homes are moving rather quickly. The ones that didn't move quick were, again, probably not priced properly and they weren't realistic. And therefore, that's why we saw 28 properties come off the market last month. Overall, it's a favorable time to sell, especially those that take a strategic approach to properly marketing their property. Prospective home buyers. The good news for you is that there's still a lot of inventory out there. We have 135 properties on the market here in Southern Highlands. The bad news is homes are still selling very close to list price, and they're not staying on the market much longer than they have this summer. But we're entering that time of year where you might be able to get a little bit more of a favorable negotiation standpoint. Overall, it's a great time to buy, especially if you're ready to move quick and get a deal done before the holiday season. So my predictions here for Southern Highlands and our market moving forward through November to the end of the year, I expect we start to see a little bit more of that traditional slowdown that we typically see, the seasonality shift that we normally see around this time of year. We'll likely see a decrease in new listings. It's possible we start to see homes sit on the market a little bit longer. Our inventory here in Southern Highlands is pretty tight, so I suspect nothing crazy is going to happen with pricing and they're just going to stay steady. So overall, I do predict that the market will cool down a little bit, but well-priced homes will continue to sell, and there are serious buyers that are still looking here in the Southern Highlands area. As always, as your local neighbor and realtor here in Southern Highlands, feel free to give me a call, text, or email if you have any questions about our market. Hopefully you guys find this helpful. Thank you and have an awesome October.